Ay, nandito tayo sa meeting na with the Filipino community sa embassy, Philippine Embassy. Ito si Rizal. Ito yung mga nandito tayo sa loob. Kilalanin niyo sila. Hindi pa nag-umpisa yung meeting. Hihintay namin yung ambassador. Meron pa siyang ginagawa. Yung si Deputy. Ito mga kaibigan ko dito. Ito. Unahin natin yung pagkain. Ito pagkain ngayon. Sarap mo, pansit, lumpiang sariwa. Ang kape namin dito, barako. Itong puti, bumusan. Ang logo ng Pilipinas. Ito yung mga nagambasa doon. Ang Pilipinas nito.
Hindi, mahaba.
Above the limb.
Presidente ng Pilipinas. Pag-umpisa. Tito, ito, presidente ng senior.
September July, August mapapayat. Meron kang dalawang bintuan sa Miltema. Ilagay mo lang pero hindi kailangan kita
Okay guys, mamaya lang ulit.
We called the meeting at 5 o'clock, but I have to attend also to some diplomatic functions na hindi talaga may iwasan. I just came from an event called by the Palestinians. You know that yesterday Norway declared its intention. In fact, not an intention, but it's a decision to recognize the Palestine as a state. So it's a big decision for Norway. For so long a time, a lot of countries has not done that. The Philippines has earlier on recognized the Palestine, and a lot of us there, diplomats were there. So I could not be there. Hindi ko na po tinapos pagkatapos po ng opening speeches. Alis na ho ako. Paalam na ho ako sa ambassador nila kasi I still have to meet my community today. So, yun po. Napakalaki ng desisyon na yun dahil you know that the Philippines is advocating together with other countries for a two-state solution for the conflict. Meaning, if there's a solution to the ongoing conflict, it would start with a recognition that there are two states. Otherwise, hindi po pwede po yun. Isa lang po yung estado, isa lang hindi pwede mag-usap yung isa lang. So they have to, a popular term, it takes two to tango, no? So it takes two to make peace. So we have to have that recognition and that leaf of Norway to recognize together with yesterday, I think 3 states, no? Ireland and Spain. And they were talking earlier on that a few more states would follow soon, like Slovenia and everyone. So hopefully there would be an end to the suffering of the people in that area. including our people. We have 137 Filipinos, luckily, and to the efforts of the Department of Foreign Affairs. My previous office actually had repatriated 137 Filipinos who were there, including their wives and children. So madami-dami na rin po. At pinapayo namin sila na huwag muna kayo bumalik until magkupa na yung ulo. Dahil pag hindi po matapos, medyo naalanganin pa rin po yung buhay nila. So, hopefully they would follow the advice, because as you know, in the Philippines we're so democratic that kahit i-advise mo kung hindi nila talaga susundin, hindi talaga sila susundin, no? Kahit minsan alanganin. And I have personal experiences of that, no, in my line of work before, of attending to crisis situation in so many countries. May pinapauwi ako sa Syria, dadali ko sa airport, may sumapasok na bago. Yung lagi pong ganon. So it's not uncommon. But siguro dahil marami tayong kailangan sa ating bayan. But for today, I'll talk about 4 things. First one is yung bagong campaign po ng ating gobyerno, yung natawag nilang Bagong Pilipinas. The second one, I'll update you on the situation on the South China Sea, or what we call West Philippine Sea. The third one, I will update you with some developments at the embassy, especially in the consular section. And finally, we'll update each other on the plans for the community-led Independence Day celebration. So let me start maybe with, first, let me just recognize the organizations. We have the Finway, the Philcom, Kalayaan, Norge, Oslo, Kalayaan, Norge, Halden, Oswald, yung Rakistad Filipino Group, FHS, nabasa ko, FITS, bago ko lang, Filipino Health and Health Society, yung FIC, yung Philadelphia International Church, the GIL, the OLMC, the DFDG, Honifos, the Ilocano Association, the Kenny, and our friends from the senior citizens. I'd also like to recognize 2 of our spiritual leaders here. Pastor Gilbert Palmero of GIL, no? And Father Johan Dumandan of the Filipino Chaplaincy, Catholic Chaplaincy. And may hinabol pa daw ang aking organisasyon, ang Hiligaynon Association in Norway. Yun yung aking organisasyon. Ilonggo po kasi ako. So, member po ako niyan in name. Mayroon pa ba akong inaanan, no? Ha?
NFC.
Yung FFC daw, si Tita Cecil, Kuya Henry, which is dati pong seafarer na retired na po at tumutulong po sa Pilipinas palagi. Alam niyo po yung ginagawa niya po, nagdadagi na ng alas-2 ng madaling araw para makapulot po ng maraming tao dito.
Kalakal.
Ano po,
papan.
Tapos ang naipon niya, iipunin niya, gagawin niya, papadala niya po sa Pilipinas yung malalagyan ng balikbayan. Pag-uwi niya po, ano na to yung mga balikbayan box niya na inaabutan niya, tapos yun po. So, doble kita po yun, doble kita sa katawan, sa kalusugan, doble kita para dun sa pagtulong dun sa mga kapwa natin. In his own individual way, no? Retired na po yan, kaya pensionist. Marami pong ganyan po dito sa atin sa Norway, marami po dito sa Oslo. So, yun po. Meron pa akong nakalimutan. And then, we're also joined online by the people from Halden, no? They're based in Halden, Hamar, and our friends from Bergen and Sword. I'm waiting for those from Narvik and Buda, because we also invited them to join us. We invited them because they are part of the community, but not only because they are part of the community, but also because they at the north and the west and then in the islands will be doing also their community-led PID events. First, sige, Bagong Pilipinas. What's the new campaign of the Philippine government? Bagong Pilipinas, or BP, is a new framework. Not really new, but it's a unified framework of ideas values and beliefs to inspire and bring pride to the Filipino and the Philippines. This is very important, and I want to emphasize this. Seeing beyond differences and build a nation that meets its present challenges and envision a promising future for all citizens. So medyo malawak po siya. Lagpasan po natin yung pagkakaiba natin, lagpasan po natin yung ating mga differences. At let's together build the nation, responding to the challenges of today and building a future for our people. It's also a call for transformation. The Bagong Pilipinas is also a call for transformation. That we present ourselves to each other and the rest of the world, as well as our economy and government and society. So that's the second element. The third one is that it challenges us to be bagong Pilipino, bagong. And away from the old one, through transformation in every aspect of our daily lives. Pagbabago sa isip, pagbabago sa salita, pagbabago sa mga ginagawa po natin. It's really a transformation, a call for transformation. Starting from the individual to the community to the entire nation. And that call does not only limit itself to the call to the Filipinos in the Philippines, but also a call for our Filipinos even outside the Philippines, kasi iisa lang naman ho tayo, isang Pilipino lang naman tayo. Ang pang-apat po na elemento niya ay sinasabi namin na the Bagong Pilipinas campaign is also an encouragement for us to be proud of ourselves as Filipinos and the Philippines. Meron ka kung laging naririnig mahirap mahalin ang Pilipinas, pero pinipili pa rin natin ang Pilipinas despite and in spite of everything. Diba? Ano yan it encourages us to be very proud of what we are, our nation, our people, and our country. Mahirap mahalin ang Pilipinas, pero pipiliin pa rin kita. Diba? I think that resonates to all of you. No? May mga reklamo tayo, di ba? Hindi naman maiwawala yun Pero at the end of the day, before you sleep, you think, Pilipino pa rin ako, mahal ko pa rin yung Pilipinas, mahal ko pa rin pamilya ko, ang sentro pa rin ng aking komunidad ay yung pamilya ko. Ganun o yun. That's what we wanted you to be proud of. That's Bagong Pilipinas. Okay, so that's one. The second thing I wanted to say is that on the updates on the West Philippine Sea. Maybe you have seen this in the papers, in the televisions that we've been doing. We have a station, the Sierra Madre, out there. No? Despite and in spite of the difficulties and Bacananang, etc., tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo. Why? Because that outpost of ours is the symbol of our sovereignty. Pag binabayaan mo yan, para mo nalang pinabayaan yung Pilipinas. And our government, President Marcos is always saying, we will not give an inch of our territory. Hindi po tayo magbibigay at umalis doon sa ating teritoryo. Regardless and in spite of. Diba? Yun po yung rallying cry po natin at ina-articulate. Sana po, ang panawagan ko po dito sa inyo, panawagan ko, ganun din po yung dadalhin natin. Marami pong sa iba't ibang, ang natawag ko dyan, competing narratives. Iba-ibang storya, pagka-iba-ibang storya. Iisa lang sa akin po, at sana sa inyo din po, ay iisa lang yung storya sa atin. Atin yan. Yeah? Atin yan. Wala nang ibang pang-storya. Regardless of other claims. And I could tell you, I could lecture here for 2 hours, 3 hours, the legal and international law basis of our claim. Bagitin ko lang sa inyo yung dalawang bagay. Una, dinala natin sila sa court, no? Sa international arbitration. Tatalo sila. Sinabi po ng korte, walang batayan ang kanilang haka-hakang non-dislike. Ngayon, naging 10 na, lately, naging 11 na. Walang batayan ho yan. Kasi, ang pinagtungtutungan ho nila, sinasabi lang islands nila, ay hindi po mga isla. Mga low tide elevation and low tide elevation under UNCLOS or international law, ay wala pong hindi siya magge-generate ng territorial sea, hindi siya magge-generate ng exclusive economic zone, maski sabihin mo pa sa'yo yan. Wala ho yan. Kaso lang, sako po natin at sinabi mismo doon sa ruling, na hindi totoo at walang batayan ang claim ng Nine Dash Line. So, pwersahan na lang to eh. Ang pinapaniwalaan nila, might, you are right if you have might. Ang pinapalaan natin, you have might if you're right. So, we stand on the right. So, that's one. And secondly, we're saying that we are, hindi pwede enforceable. But sinasabi natin, when we do freedom of navigation, kaya tayo may mga exercises, kung dinadaanan natin ang mga barko natin yan, maski maliit na barko, alam niyo naman, ang dami-dami ng bangka. Ang latest nito, yung convoy po ng mga civilian, about 100 bangkas. Diba? Kontra sa mga dambuhalang barko nila. 54 of them. Tapos, 100 po tayo. Pero lilinggit po ng ating mga barko. May mga outrigger natin na wawalo yung sakay. 6 yung sakay. Kontra doon sa mga tag-100 sakay nila. 54 sila. 100 tayo. Pero we asserted. And we never back down. No? Medyo binubawang pa ka lang. Nasabihan ka lang, alis ka dyan. Hindi sa'yo yan. Pero tuloy-tuloy. So I think the narrative that we should be doing for our West Philippine Sea claim is that atin to. Hindi sa inyo yan. Amin to. Diba? Atin yung West Philippine Sea. The second one, that the update is that just recently, about 2 weeks now? 3 weeks ago, finally Norway has said, when I met the deputy foreign minister before, yung Andreas Krabbe, yung kalagong appoint siya, one of the things that I discussed with him is our possession on the West Philippine Sea. And then we agreed that we should be pushing for rules-based international order. We agreed that UNCLOS is the supreme law of the sea. Okay, now, given that, sabi ko, given the ruling of the 2016 arbitral ruling, sabi ko, ano posisyon ng Norway? Susuportahan niyo ba? That time, that was late last year, around November when I met with him. Sabi niya sa akin, paligoy-ligoy, hanggang hindi niya masabi ng diretso. But 3 weeks ago, triggered by, lang po ha. Naka-record naman eh. Triggered by note, kasi kami pag diplomatic practice, nagbibigay ka ng tawag na note verbal. Ang literal na meaning ng note verbal, sulat ng iyong sasabihin. So, sinusulat namin yan, gusto namin sabihin, tapos binibigay sa kanila. Yung mga kaibigan nating malaking bansa sa norte, kilala nyo yun, di ba? Okay. Kaibigan natin, sumulat po sa kanila. Sinasabi na ito yung posisyon namin dyan. Sinagot po sila ng note verbal din. Hindi lang kami nagbigyan ng kopya, pero sinabi sa amin. Hindi, wala pong saysay po yung pinagsasabi nyo kasi hindi namin na-recognize based on the 2016 arbitral tribunal. So kinuwento yan sa akin nang nag-meet kami about 4 weeks ago, last month. So yung sa mga silently kasi hindi nyo naman nakikita lahat. Tuloy-tuloy yan, yung pakipag, ano sa kanila, pakipag-usap, etc. Sabi sa akin ng kanyang deputy, pumosisyon na kami. Tungkwa ako, report ako sa Manila, na pumosisyon na po yung bansa natin, ang bansa na kino-cover ko. Sabi nila, sige, kasi darating sila doon sa Maynila, magbibisita sila ng 3 weeks ago. They visited Manila for some meetings. And then sabi ko, erase nyo. Tanungin nyo sila promptly kung ano ba. In those meetings that they did in Manila, they said that the Norway is now supporting the 2016 arbitral ruling. So, malinaw na yung suporta sa atin ng Norway. That's a big news for us. We said that in one of our posting in the Facebook. Yung tweet ng aming undersecretary ng DFA na quoting that, and then na-retweet ni Breivik at na-retweet ng ambassador ng Norway sa Pilipinas. So, while they may not be that outspoken on that, we know that they are with us in the support of the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling. So, medyo nakakatuwa yung lalong lumalim yung ating relasyon po sa kanila. That strengthened our relationship with them. Okay. Ang ano ko lang po, kung gusto niyo po to learn more, kasi makipag-discussion din kayo sa mga kapwa niyo po, there is a microsite. We will distribute later siguro in a piece of paper and yung microsite that you could read more about this, about West Philippine Sea. I'll just read it. It's a microsite sites.google.com.tfa.gov.ph WPS-test/home. Kaya pala, ibibigay na namin, may tandaan mo yan, kahit ako, kahit binasa ko pabalik mo sa akin, sabi ko ulit. Malay ko ba? So, yun. So, pala, PNP, hindi nyo binanggit ang listahan. Kalaki-laki nyo. Pupo tayo, kaso lang hindi naman nare-resolve ka agad yun po yan. Ang totoo po niyan, tama po kayo, may pinatag na bundok
ko, naubos na eh.
Naubos. Tapos nagtaka kami kung saan dinadala, akala namin, ba't kami ba?
Yun mo yung
kasama ako doon Hindi, pagkataka yung mga taga roon, kung saan dinadala, ni Red Jean, etc. Yung kinukuha ng minerals. True. Pero yung byproduct nun, tinatambak somewhere else.
Yun yung ginamit nilang pantambak doon sa isang island.
Na ginawa nilang artificial island. That reminds me also to tell you that the artificial islands is not recognized as part of the territory. Under UNCLOS. Pag tinayo mo yan na artificial, ay hindi yan kasali doon. So, even if you have built artificial islands and fortification, it's not recognized as being a basis for your claim for sovereignty or territorial rights in that area. So, maski ginawa po nila yan, under international law, wala po yan. One of these days, magagawin natin, mag-seminar ako dito ng mas detalye kung may interest po kami mag-create sa inyo. Wala akong problema po yan. Okay. Next, the third item. Bilis ko ano? Igutom na ba kayo? Third item. Two things lang po nung aking sasabihin sa two items for next activities. One, alam next year for congressional. And it's your right, if you are a registered voter, to vote. No? And to select at least hanggang congressman. Senatorial. Senatorial. Yung 12 senador na gusto nyo i-elect doon. No? Marami doon sa mga incumbent, 7 atas la o 8 ang magre-re-election. So, sino ba? Sila, yung chairman po ng Foreign Affairs Committee, si Amy Marcos, is a re-electionist. Sige pa. Madami. So, baka sabihin nila sa akin, nagkakampanya ako dito, pero tingnan nyo lang po, marami po sa kanila. Marami po sila. The point I'm trying to raise is that we have opened continuing registration for absentee voters dito po sa embassy. Kailangan nyo po magparehistro kung gusto nyo pong bumoto. And a new development is that by next year, this is crossing our fingers. They have given us the signal na in Norway to do an online voting. So you don't have to go here to physically vote or mail your ballot. So inaayos lang po yung mechanics, yung security, and I think some other things. And my team will be doing a training sometime third quarter of this year for them. After siguro magsara po yung ang deadline po ng ating registration is September 30, 2024, diba? Kasi sabi dito sa aking notes, September 30, 2025, tapos na yung election noon. Anyway, so September 30, 2024, no? That's a few months from now. Sana po makapag-register. Any tubig? Tournament of football sa mga kabataan. ito, kausap ko sila kanina ulit, mayroon pong historic na mangyayari sa this edition. For the first time in the Philippines, there will be an all-women team. Between 15 to 16 years old, isang buong team kasama po dito. This coincide with our advocacy for gender and women empowerment, both of Norway and the Philippines. That's why talagang pinilit po na kung pwede, dalawang dapat tong team na pupunta dito. Gawin tatlo, ang pangatlong team ay kababaihan. Okay. We are waiting for them. They're asking for our support. Hopefully we could give them support. At the very least, mayroong mga friendly games na ina-arrange with them sa mga ibang Sana puntahan natin sila just to cheer them. Or kung during the event itself, mapuntahan niyo at mag-cheer up sa kanila. Kung pwede. Ang event would be between 27 of July to August 4. So, isang linggo po. Tapos darating ko sila dito, I think 24 of July or 25. And then between that period, may mga friendly practice games and everything. Tapos for those later on, siguro will form some kind of volunteers. Yung ipapasyal ba sila dito, mga bata na to dito sa and help them acclimatize. Kaya sinadyaso namin sa kanila na pumunta na mas maaga, hindi the day before the event. Kasi habi ang kwento namin sa kanila, iba-iba yung ang dito, yung klima. So dapat, especially takbuhan sa football, no? Dapat yung maka-adjust yung baga mo sa klima bago ka maglaro. So, mga 3 days would be enough siguro for that. So, we will be asking and announcing this help kung makakatulong. Hopefully yung mga Oslo based, kasi dito sa Oslo yung laro diyan sa may labas. Mark, saan nga yun? Saan banda yun?
Ekeberg.
Hindi naman plot yun eh.
Ekeberg.
Sa baba nun? Okay, sige. Para sa amin, Ekeberg bus, Ekeberg baba, doon sa baba.
Sa Ekeberg restaurant kasi kayo pupunta.
Tama ako kayo, Tita Cecil. Sa Ekeberg restaurant ako nakakapunta, hindi sa Ekeberg baba. Basta marami na malapad. Napuntahan ko po yung lugar kasi na-curious po ako. Pinuntahan ko po yung lugar. So, okay naman. There will be around 3 teams plus yung accompanying delegation nila. Ang kaganda ng grupong to ay grassroots po ito. Grassroots, ibig sabihin galing sa ibang mga probinsya, etc. Tapos hindi to tulad ng mga Philippine team natin na mayroong mga ibang bansa. Yung mix, sila puro sila, tapos galing po sa mga probinsya. Sa probinsya ko pong pinanggalingan, halimbawa 4 doon sa team na yon ay galing ko sa kanila. May mga taga Samar, may mga taga Leyte, may mga taga Mindanao. And then one of their programs is related to peace advocacy din. So tinitrain yung mga bata ng football doon sa Mindanao area, sa conflict area, para po maiwas na sila doon. Sabi ng kwentuhan nga namin kanina, the violence is now directed at the ball, not on the other person. So, galit ako sa'yo! Sisipin mo bolang to! Mga ganon. Hindi na yung gahawakan ng baril. No? So, hopefully, it would help them. Kahit maliit na bagay. Sabi ko nga, kahit 100 yung matutulungan nyo na it's a factor, worthy of emulation. Kahit kung maraming gumagawa na mas maganda. Pero kahit pakonti-konti, nakakatuwa. It's on pagilan na ba, Candice? Flores, pagilan na ba itong Paskong Pinoy natin? Itong pang-apat na itong ngayong taon. Pangatlong iteration. Hindi ko pa nakuha po yung isang hinihingi ko talagang lugar na mas malaki yung unang-una natin. Pero initially nag-usap na ho kami. At nag-aayos lang ho kami ng lugar, yung FIC. Kasi medyo yun yung pinakamalaki. It could house around 1,200. Otherwise, doon na ulit tayo sa Story Salon Meaning Heads, which could accommodate around 700 at most. Tapos the additional 300 siguro doon sa sala niya doon sa baba. So, malaki kasi at masaya. Alam mo, pinakamasayang activity na ginagawa natin. Spirit is high, you're commemorating the birth of Christ, tapos nabibigay ka ng regalo, tapos walang bayad. Hindi mo gano'n, di ba? Lahat ang dami nagdo-donate. Sabi namin, diretso lang sa donation, diretso doon kung ano yung tutulong mo. And then, they only stop accepting au pair application for those au pairs coming from non-EEA countries. Meaning, sa simpleng salita, hindi galing Europe. So, mayroon silang distinction na gano'n. So, yung mga ibang mga bansa, including the Philippines, hindi na po makapag-apply. Ang deadline was March 15 this year. We were asking them kung mababago pa ba itong policy na to. Kasi I've heard a lot of positive feedback on this, no? And then sabi nila, pag-aaralan po ulit nila. But as of now, wala kaming masasabi kundi i-implement yung program na gano'n. Pero I'm sure we're still hopeful that there are other ways, even not even a fair program could be done. That brings me to the latest ginawa po natin, no? For the last 2 years, we have been working to have the Norwegian Maritime Authority accept our proposal to have the harmonization of processes, standardization of the requirements, digitization and training of the seafarers. And finally, we were able to do that after 2 years of back and forth. Talagang tiyagaan lang talaga. Kasi sino bang may nangangailangan? Tayo. Kung ikaw nangangailangan, talagang tiyaga lang. Silently and lingitso sa kaalaman niyo po, marami po kaming binuhos na oras dito at saka frustrations. Kasi minsan hindi ka papansinin talaga eh. Minsan tutulak na ganun, pinag babawiin pa na nakuha na everything until finally nag-agree, no? And then that's why we on May 13 this year, about 2 weeks ago, hindi na ako marunong magbilang ng araw. May 13 this year, we signed. We were modest, we just say they facilitated and hosted the signing. But really, it was the embassy that, and I'm telling you now, it was the embassy who really work hard para makuha tong ano na to. Ang net effect ko nito, mas mapapacilitate yung entry ng seafarers ko natin dito. And mind you, this is not simply seafarers. Ito, di ba? Ang mga ano nito, yung mga seafarers ito, yung mga ratings, tatawag lang ratings, ibig sabihin officers. So, skilled, and then the opportunity for our people in the Philippines that are training for becoming seafarers would be widened. Pwede silang magpa-certify doon na other than ordinary. So when they come here, they are rated already. So, yung ganun. So, kung maayos natin yung I push for the first meeting of the technical working group para maayos na ito. Kasi unless otherwise the technical working group will come up with the system, parang ano yan eh, parang drawing yung memorandum agreement. So, hopefully within the next few months, no, hopefully I'm really hoping na matapos namin to. We're set to meet again in 3 months. In between, nag-exchange po ng emails sa kung anong kailangan and everything. Tapos mag-face-to-face meeting in 3 months, and hopefully by December, third meeting, plansado na ho, by next week, we could easily na practice na. Ang kagandahan kasi yun ito, ang net effect ko, sasabihin ko sa inyo, within the next 3 to 5 years, per estimation of the Norwegian Maritime Authority, previously yung head nila, si Knut Hareide, is saying that, Ambassador, I'm very proud that I'm part of this because it would help at least 25,000 people na bagong seafarer na papasok sa Norway in the next 3 to 5 years. And I've been repeating that. Tapos ngayon, ang lumalabas sa dyaryo, Ambassador Post assured that there will be. Pero ang original na niya yan ay 3,500. Tapos sabi ko, tapos nagsulat-sulat kami we met last June at the sideline of the North Shipping Conference. Complete kami. Tama nga naman. naman, mga around 25,000. We're now at around 7,000 seafarers coming in as of 2022. I'm not sure yet how many seafarers had come in 2023 because when I asked for data, it's not yet complete. But I assure you, it's much bigger than the 2022. And by next year, lalaki po yan. Kasi hindi imposible na maabot natin ng another 25,000 in the next 3 to 5 years. So, dadami po tayo dito. Kaso lang nakalutang-lutang po sila sa sa karagatan dahil seafarers sila. Pero pagbaba, kasama natin yan sila. Di ba? Anyway, tulad nila Kuya Tito, Kuya Henry, pag nag-retire na yan, dito na yan. Kahit hindi pa nag-retire, dito na ho yan. Sa lupa na ho yan. Yes po, Kuya Tito.
Sana ang Marina sa atin magkaroon ng permanent program para sa mga seaman na ng pension program.
Okay.
Hanggang sa ngayon, wala pa rin kasi maraming officer of rating ang pension nila ay galing sa SS.
Totoo.
And I have a brother, 35 years, ang tinatanggap lang niya 16,000 pesos. What's
Hindi
the
16,000 NOK, ha?
No.
Kasi dito, yung pension dito, minimum ng 14,000 NOK. Now, di ba?
Hindi lang
Lately.
hindi lang officers o rating, but maraming company na absolutely na walang pension. Sana ayun ang maayos ng Marina sa atin. Kawawa naman ang mga seaman noon pa.
Binanggit ko yan sa one of our private discussions. Ang sagot po sa akin, it's not a Marina concern, but we are concerned of the new department, yung Department of Migrant Workers. Kasi considered po migrant workers po yung mga Marino po natin sa labas. So, hopefully with the new leadership now, Hans Kakdak, consistent naman yan na tumutulong sa mga tao. And under po the leadership po ni Presidente, consistent naman po yung pagtulong. And in fact, the President has always been consistent in saying that the welfare of our overseas Filipinos is of paramount importance to not only for their families, but to the nation. So, ako, wala akong duda doon na hopefully, sooner than later, mapagka-agreean ho yan. Sa ngayon po, ang mayroong pension na separately, is through their union, yung union po ng mga officers, yung AMUSUC, yung Association of Marine Officers Union of the Philippines. Alam ko po yan kasi consultant pa ako sa AMUSUC.
One thing more, sana magkaroon ng permanent employment ang lahat ng seaman. Tapos ano nangyayari yun, 1-year contract, maghihintay
Ay,
sila.
hindi po, Kuya Tito, hindi po pwede pong ganon. Kasi under the IMO regulations, for their safety and for their welfare, the maximum number of months that the seafarer, regardless of nationality, is 11 months. Kailangan lang po bumaba. Ang problema po sa mga companies po natin ay pagbaba po, mag-reapply ka ulit. So, kaya ang ginagawa po ng mga pamilya, I think many of you here have seaman family members. Pagbaba po, 3 buwan niya normally, tatlong buwan. Ang first month po, nasa pamilya niya. Ang second month, mag-prepare na yan ng kanyang magpe-prepare ng kanyang mga papeles niya or training certification. And then, pang-pangatlong buwan, mag-retraining. Ganon yan. So, practically, in the 90 days that they are down there, only 1 month is dedicated for the families. That was not the intention of the regulation. The intention of the regulation is for them to have time for their families because all the time in the 11 months, the maximum of 11 months, they are all out there at the sea. So it's not healthy for human beings to be out there alone or a few of them at the sea. So, yun yung gusto naming baguhin dito sa Memorandum of Agreement. Ang hindi ko sinasabi po na hindi ko nasabi. Ang gusto po ng Memorandum of Agreement ma-implement, ma-shorten yan. Kasi even if you are already at sea, mababa po lang kayo, pwede na mag-umpisahan yung training and certification process na i-recognize po sa Norway. This is, I think, the first time that we will be doing this among countries here in Europe. Tayo pa lang po yan. Tapos nang kinukwento ko mga sa kapwa ko, ambassador na Pilipino, nagtatanong po paano ginagawa yun. Sabi ko, pukan lang. At kausap lang yung halos palagi lang ako kausap
Sa
na ano
trabaho
pwede
namin
gagawin.
lang po,
And
at
with the
least.
help of some people
Tapos
and
4 weeks
guidance,
free.
nagawa naman po, no?
Tapos
So,
2
pag
weeks
na-shorten
ulit,
mo
4 weeks
kasing
free.
certification process,
Ano yung 18
say,
months
1
na
month,
kami. 18
di
weeks
isang
lang.
buwan din yung para sa pamilya ho nila. Diba?
Isang po.
These are the social things that the social benefits that are not articulated in the MOA, but the net effect really is not only for employment, but the processes will be shortened because it will be more efficient, digitized, harmonized ang system. So mas mabilis, yung expectation mas mabilis. Diba? Hopefully, kaya nga pinupupok namin palagi na kailangan po mag-meet at mag-usap palagi yung technical working group. It's only that group who could determine that. I'm no expert. Maski tutulakin, gawin nyo yan and everything. Tapos sabihin ko, ay kaganda na pagkalabasan niya kaganda. Pero yung kailangan mo, kasi these people also are doing things other than the implementation. In fact, siguro, of the 100% of their work, maybe 5% lang. So kailangan mo lang i-push kasi you know, and all of you know that kailangan po itong, siguro, ugali lang. Na makukulitan lang to kasi you know the end effect of this is really good for our people. Hopefully, pag matapos na ako dito, na-implement yan at nakarating na yung 25,000 or more, no? Para masaya tayo dito ng todo. Okay. Then we're working also, balita ko lang sa inyo. You know that one of the problems dito sa is online sexual abuse and exploitation of children and women. So, OSAEC ang tawag nila doon. We're trying to purge mali ata English ko noon. Or mali ang pagkabanggit ko. Tama ba, Madam Ayla? Purge. Magbuo. Tama? Sige. Magbuo po ng isa ulit na agreement with them para pusugpuin ito ang online sexual abuse and exploitation. Kasi marami pong nabibiktima mong kabataan at kababaihan sa Pilipinas. The predators are from Norway, the victims are in the Philippines. So it's a police matter, so pinapatagpo po namin yung police ng Norway at police ng Pilipinas para makapag-usap at makapag-force ng operational agreement. We're doing that already in operation, in actual, without the agreement. But we want this, ako personally, I want this institutionalized. Maski kahit wala na, magbago man yung administrasyon, magbago man yung mga leadership nila, if there is that framework on place and operation in place, tuloy-tuloy ho yan. Kasi I don't think that the problem would be resolved in the next few months, no? Tuloy-tuloy. Di ba sa kantang Taksulok? Ang ano? Habang may kahirapan,
Kantahin mo.
habang may kahirapan. Alam po, inakin yan eh.
But the problem is happens on our website. At saka very lax ang DICT natin.
Yun na nga po doon ang inyong gusto i-address eh. Sa totoo lang gusto i-address kasi ang hirap bantayan. So dapat kaya nga mag-uusap kung paano ba bantayan dahil it's very we will again be celebrating the Philippine Independence Day. This time 126 na, hindi na siya milestone, 126 na siya, pero we'll take off from what we had last year. We will be doing as like last year is one event, one celebration, many events. That's why it's not only Oslo. The events will be all over Norway. In fact, we're doing another one in Iceland. So, in Oslo, in
Fredrikstad.
Fredrikstad sa Halden, tama ba Tita Jules? And then, tawag dito, meron tayo sa Bergen, meron tayo sa Stord, sa west side. And then we have one in Hamar, and one in Harstad. So, madami po siya. All of these are done in cooperation with the embassy. So, just we're spreading my team thinly, pero natutuwa pa rin kami dahil ang dami pong ginagawa, no? I think this is, in my experience in foreign service, this is one of the first country na napuntahan ko po na ang celebration is not limited to the capital. And it's spread all over Norway, and we wanted to encourage that, no, one celebration, because we're celebrating the Philippine Independence Day, the Declaration of Philippine Independence in 1998, June 12, but we accommodate as many events, okay, and complement each event as much as possible and avoid some differences. So, ganyan po. So, with that note, I will call on yung mga may events, kung may rep po dito. Sige. Ano tayo ni alphabetical? Yung chronological. Lamat dahil. Alam mo siya yung pinakauna kanina dumating dito. Papunta pala ako dun sa isang event ko na sa lubok ko. Halika na, mag-meeting na tayo. Papunta pa ako sa isang event ko. Ganon? Sige. Magsimula po.
Change of venue if in St. Hanshaugen, and now we will be situating in Speaker Stupa. So you are all invited. The same concept as June 1. The only thing is it's a bigger space and it's almost in the center of Oslo.
Saan banda yung lugar niya? Speaker Stupa.
Speaker
Speaker Stupa.
Speaker.